And now for a taste of things to come.
And I read from the latest version of the guidelines, which is December 2nd of 1993. As always, Sega will not approve products which contain A1, material that encourages criminality of any kind. It isn't making a game and selling it that encourages a kid to point a gun at a television set and rewards his success or her success by increasing the firepower of the gun, encouraging criminality. I mean, we're all aware of this incredible outbreak of gun violence in our country. Is it responsible?
I don't see a bunch of college sophomores crowding that arcade. I saw a bunch of kids playing video games. And the question is, if you've got video arcades where kids spend hours playing video games, is there any basis for believing that some of the more violent games are out of the reach of young children? In my judgment,
no.
Not. If you take a look at what's happening in this country with respect to children who are growing up without supervision, without the parents that you so blithely say should supervise, I agree. There ought to be parent supervision and strong parent involvement and education in their children's viewing habits and so on. The fact is, in many cases, there aren't parents. What do you do about those kids? Do you just say, well, here we're going to lay this on the market and let the buyer beware? If some kid can get access to it, fine. What we're talking about here, let me tell you why. In your final point about Night Trap, you say this: finally, there is some research suggesting a short-term, momentary increase in playful, aggressive behavior after playing video games or watching violent television programs. There is no research concluding that this has any lasting impact. In fact, quite the opposite is true, you say. My sense is that you really don't get what this hearing is about, and I don't mean to single you out. It's likely there are others that ought to be sitting in your place. But you know,
It's banned in Britain, where the film board condemned its casual sadism and unrelenting focus on stalking and brutal slaying. But here in this country, Manhunt 2 goes on sale tomorrow. What sets this video game apart is that the player can become physically involved in the acts of violence. Rather than just pushing buttons, the player actually wields a knife, an axe, a glass shard to stab an opponent. The game has been rated M, meaning you have to be 17 to purchase one, but retailers have been known to sell to underage kids, and some of the game is already online. We talked with Jim Steyer of Common Sense Media, who said that research shows violent games can cause kids to act more aggressively and accept violence as a part of everyday life. So if you have a child who's a gamer, discourage this form of quote-unquote entertainment. Too much time playing video games is hazardous to their health, and with this latest entry, may be hazardous to the health of others too.
This is not for kids. This is adult entertainment. The fact is, you know and I know that kids in this country will have wide access to it. And we need to exercise responsibility to see that we protect those children. And frankly, prior to this hearing, I've seen very little effort on the part of people in the industry to do that. The effort has been to try to follow the money tracks and see how you can profit. Unfortunately, profiting at the expense of America's kids is not moral profit in my judgment. And my hope is this hearing provides a direction that is much more constructive for this country and for our kids.
But I hope you walk away with one thought today, that if you don't do something about it, we will. And from where I'm sitting, if you walk away with that thought, then I'm satisfied that this hearing has had some real positive possibilities to it.